Good evening, it's Sunday evening, 7:30, and it's time for Sunday Satsang. And this is normally John and Michelle. But unfortunately, Michelle has a tummy bug at the moment, which has been going around Cape Town. Many people have had it, and many people are still suffering with it, and Michelle has been dragging on for quite a few days now. So she's asked you to please excuse her tonight. She's not at her best at the moment. But I'm sure she'll be better in a few days and she'll join us next week. So it's just John tonight. If you have any queries or questions, comments, please put them up in the comments box. We love getting those comments and Michelle will answer those. She always does every week. And we love getting your hearts. And if you enjoy and you find valuable what we have to share, what I have to share tonight, and then please press the like and the share button because it really does help get the message out to a bigger audience. So welcome, Sunday night satsang with John tonight because Michelle is not terribly well tonight. Well, she's she's fine, but she's just got a tummy bug and it's drained her a bit. So good evening. Hello, Merlene. Good evening, Merlene. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your hearts and thank you for your comments. So tonight you're not going to have an astro update. I mean, I can tell you that there's a sun in the sky and a moon over there, but beyond that, not much. Sorry, my astrology is very dismal. Anyway, so we'll have to wait until next week to get an astro update. But let's see what flows through me tonight for you. So tonight we're going to be looking at the subject of integration. And while I don't like labels and I don't like to label myself, people ask me, what are you? And I call myself an integrative spiritual life coach. So the word integrative is part of my awareness, and that's what we're going to be talking about tonight is integration. Integration. What is integration? And the reason I call myself an integrative life coach is because I don't focus on one just narrow aspect of life. I believe that we are made holistically, and I believe that all the parts fit together in a particular way to make the whole the meaningful subject rather than the part. And that's possibly one of the problems that we have in the world today, is that people become so caught up in the part that they forget how the part fits into the whole. And the transformation that we're making as a species at the moment is back into wholeness, back into integration, back into community, back into caring and empathy, and all that comes from integrating our awareness. And the one word that we have that actually encompasses all of that integration is that four-letter word that's so misused, the word that we have called love, which is totally inadequate to really fully express this experience that we have when we are in love with life. But that's really what the path of integration is to bring us back to wholeness, and wholeness is love. So tonight we're going to be looking at integration, different aspects of our lives, and bring them into a new functioning whole. So welcome to everyone who's just joined us, and just to let you know, it's only me tonight. Michelle has a tummy bug, and it's laid her low. It's been affecting her. I had it last Saturday, and it lasted a couple of days, but Michelle's been lasting a lot longer. And this bug is going around Cape Town at the moment, and I'm sure within a day or two she'll be fine again. Anyway, that's why you've just got me tonight. But please tell us where you're from, where you're watching from. We love getting your comments, your questions, your queries, and pressing the like and the share button. It's really good to get the Facebook Live to a larger audience. So thank you for doing that. Thank you. So let's start this evening as we always do. Thank you for all the hearts that are coming through. Really appreciate that. Yeah, it is about love, isn't it? And I love this community. We love this community, and it's, I think, a very special community. We know that the good book says where two or more are gathered, there I am. And that great I am is the truly integrative self, if you want to put a word self on it, which doesn't really work, but the true integrated beingness. And I believe that where two or more gathered, there we generate an energy that is way more than the individual parts. So we have a gathering every Sunday, and I believe that the energy that radiates from this satsang is part of a very important process of transforming human consciousness. Transforming human consciousness from being predominantly linear and left brain into a more holistic and heart-based awareness. So it's really important to connect in this way in a group form. Yeah. So welcome to everyone. So let's just gently close our eyes and just center our awareness into the only place that truly exists, and that is the present moment. The present moment is in fact the most sacred place in all of creation. And those of you who visited the cathedrals of Europe, I mean, we were talking about today about St. Paul's and St. Peter. I mean, when you walk into those cathedrals, there's an awe, and it's really initiated by the magnificence of the architecture. And if you have been there before, you will know what I'm speaking about, that incredible awe of those huge buildings. And we think that that is more sacred than where we are today, and truly the opposite is true. This moment where you're seated right now is the most sacred place in all of creation, because it's where your consciousness intersects the divine, this present moment here and now. And the body is the most sacred temple we could ever inhabit. The body, the human body, right here, right now. So let's just become aware of the sacredness of this moment and the sacredness of this temple that we occupy. And let's bring our awareness into the body, and let's bring our awareness right down to our toes. Let's draw our awareness right down our body to our toes. And let's become aware of the big toe on your left foot. Just bring your awareness into the big toe on your left foot. Just check in with the toe and see if there's any tension under the toenail. Just notice you have to be fully attentive, fully present to do this exercise. Let's shift our awareness to the big toe on your right foot now and become aware of the toenail there. And just see if there's any tension underneath the toenail. Become aware of the soles of your feet. Become aware of where they're touching right now. The soles of the feet are vital for an energy exchange between the physical body and the earth. It's called grounding. And so there are many receptor sites, energetic receptor sites in the sole of the feet, which are designed to connect with the negative ions of the earth, to replenish the body, and to act as a conduit from the higher dimensions through our body, through the feet, into the earth, to nourish Mother Earth. Yes, our feet nourish Mother Earth just as much as Mother Earth nourishes our body. So just become aware of your feet, become aware of the soles of your feet, connecting in a sacred way with Mother Earth. Yes, there may be a level of disconnection through maybe shoes or flooring, but just feel that connection in your heart, that connection of your presence with the presence of Mother Earth, Mother Gaia. She is our mother. Everything that we have in the physical world is given to us from the earth. The water we drink, the air we breathe, the food we eat, the houses we live in, even the cars we drive, they all come from Mother Earth. So let's bring a bit of this beautiful Mother Earth, this peaceful mothering energy up our feet, into our ankles, drawing the air up, drawing the energy up from Mother Earth, up into our calf muscles and into our shins and knees. spend a moment with the knees. The knees do such an incredible job every day, and they many times go unacknowledged. So just bring your awareness to your knees. Feel the energy from Mother Earth. Maybe you might like to visualize it as a mother of pearl energy glistening, coming into the knees to heal, to reduce any inflammation, to strengthen the knees. Now let's bring our awareness, let's bring this awareness of Mother Gaia and her beautiful, peaceful, calm, mothering energy up our legs, up our knees, into our thighs, and up into our pelvic region, relaxing and energizing at the same time, releasing any tension in the pelvic region and bringing energy, earthly energy, up into the body. And let's just, in our imagination, draw this energy using the power of visualization up our spine, vertebra by vertebra, drawing this beautiful, peaceful, calm, mother of pearl energy up each vertebra to the place between our shoulder blades. And let's just rest there a moment, relaxing the shoulder blades, relaxing the shoulders. And now let's move into the body with this energy, this beautiful mother of pearl energy from the earth beneath our feet, through into the chest cavity and into the heart. Let's feel a connection between our heart and Mother Gaia. Mother Gaia has a pulse, and our heart has a pulse. And as we relax, we go into a sympathetic resonance with that pulse. We go into what's called a coherence. Feel that coherence between your heart and Mother Earth. Let this energy from your heart drip down into your organs, bringing this peace, this beautiful, wonderful, synchronized peace into the liver and the kidneys and the spleen and the intestines and all the organs of the body. And as the heart beats, it pushes this beautiful, peaceful vibration through our arteries, our veins, and even through the tiny capillaries to nourish every single one of our 30 trillion cells, moment to moment to moment. And when we get stressed, when we have stories going on in our head, stories of anxiety or fear, they restrict this flow of beautiful energy. So in this moment, let's make up for it. Let's really, really relax into this moment, honoring the sacredness of your heart and the function it performs in your body. Let's just allow life to flow unimpeded through the arteries, the veins and the capillaries, washing and nurturing and feeding every single cell in our body in this moment. Just be mindful of the extremities of the body, the fingertips, the toes, the top of the head. Feel this beautiful pulse of loving energy encompassing your whole body. And we take this awareness from our heart now and we move it back to that position between our shoulder blades. And we invite this energy up into our neck, relaxing and drawing it up the back of our head to the top of our head, the crown of our head. We feel the crown of the head opening, and we feel the energy from Mother Gaia focus through our hearts, expanding upwards and outwards in a beautiful spiral of sparkling light, to meet Father Sky, to meet the cosmos, where it is greeted with bliss by the cosmos, who rejoices in our connection and sends its energy down, back through our crown chakra, down through our face, through all the muscles and the cheeks and the jaw relaxing, and down the back of the neck and down the whole body, down our arms to our fingertips. And we might possibly feel a pulsing of energy out from our fingertips. And this energy goes down our spine, down our torso into the hips, activating all the chakras in the body, activating our solar plexus, sacral chakra, base chakra, down the thighs, the knees, down through the ankles and back to the soles of our feet and into Mother Earth. And we now are the conduit for Father Sky to greet Mother Earth. Mother Earth sends her blessing up to Father Sky, and Father Sky sends his blessing down to meet Mother Earth. And we are that sacred channel, that sacred open hole in the flute that this Christ light dances through in this moment. And we feel honored to be here tonight in this sacred circle of connection, of community, and of love. We feel our hearts expanding, and we feel this energy within us expanding to encompass the whole of mankind. If we see in our imagination a radiance of light encompassing the whole earth. It is beautiful, magnificent, and sacred. And now we bring our awareness back into our own hearts. We bring our awareness into the breath, and we take a very, very deep breath into our solar plexus and a long breath out. We take a second breath into the lower diaphragm, now blowing our tummy up like a big ball, bigger and bigger and bigger, and then a long sigh out, letting everything go. And a third very deep breath in, right down to the toes this time and up to the top of the head. And as we sigh out, we just relax deeper into our body, and gradually, whenever we're ready, we may open our eyes. And just see how you feel in this moment. How do you feel? Do you feel a bit more peaceful, a bit more centered, a bit more integrated? Well, thank you for being with us tonight. It's a beautiful evening here in Cape Town where we are. Let me know what the weather is like in your part of the world, and let me know how you feel in this moment. Let me know how you feel. And if you do feel a bit more, thank you for the hearts. Love getting those as well. If you do feel a bit more peaceful right now, it does mean that you are more integrated in your awareness. You're more centered. The word centered and integrated is pointing us towards exactly the same place. Thank you for all the hearts. It's really beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it is all about the hearts. It is all about the heart, because the heart is the very center of our physical body. It's the most powerful electromagnetic field that we have, the heart. And, if you had to take your finger and point to yourself, very few people point to their head when they say me. We all point to our chest. Intuitively, we know that the heart is the seat of our awareness. Now, the subject for tonight's satsang is integration. And for those of you who joined us during the meditation, welcome. You're most welcome. And just to let you know why I'm the only one here tonight, that Michelle is not here, is because she's got a tummy bug. So we just send her lots of healing, lots of hearts and lots of healing. And I'm sure she'll be better very quickly. She's feeling a bit drained. And this bug is going around Cape Town at the moment. So many people are affected, and just a healing light to you as well if you also have been afflicted by this tummy bug. So lots of love and lots of blessings there. So you've just got me tonight. So tonight we're talking about integration. What does integration mean? Well, really, we've just experienced the fruits of integration. The fruits of integration is peace, centeredness, and love. So if you were able to tap the central point inside yourself in that moment, That's, and I don't want to make a goal out of it, but that is the sort of destination of the journey of awakening. It's to live from this place of integrated awareness. So those of you who've seen the map of the matrix that I put out, my cross, the horizontal plane and the vertical plane, and if you haven't seen it, then I can put the link up in the page below after we finish. But the map really is a very good model at looking at the unintegrated and the integrated. So the horizontal plane is the plane of conditionality. Everything on the horizontal plane is in time, going from past to future, and appears to us in a waveform. And a waveform is always positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative. And as such, it's not integrated because you have a positive and you have a negative. And the central sort of integration point is in the vertical plane, and it's not a point, it's actually a whole field of awareness. And that is where polarity collapses onto itself, into itself, and it forms what's called unconditioned awareness. Now that might sound pretty esoteric, and maybe sometime in the future I'll get what John's talking about. And I'm going to suggest no. In that moment, the previous moment when we were meditating, when we were in our heart and we felt maybe a sense of peace, a sense of stillness. Did you feel the stillness? And did you feel a sense of calmness within you? And did you feel a sense of love? Did you feel your heart opening up? That is the vertical plane. Now, the vertical plane is not something to be strived for in the future. It is your very essence. You, in fact, are completely integrated. The I am part of you, before you project a name, a label, like, for example, I am John. The John part is in the horizontal plane. The I am is in the vertical plane, and as such is completely integrated. Another word for that is unconditional. Unconditional. So on the horizontal plane we have conditionality. In the vertical plane we have unconditionality. Now just think about this word that we've mentioned a few times today, the word love. We have and we experience on the horizontal plane a conditional form of love. And that conditional form is very much predicated on situations and circumstances and doing, very much doing. That love is a doing love. And it depends on the world you find yourself surrounded in as to how much love you receive and how much love you feel and how much love you can give. And that is a conditional love. So, for example, people will love you more if you do things right. If you provide them with what they want, they will love you more. I mean, that's how we were brought up, wasn't it? If you're a good kid, your parents love you more. Well, you feel it anyway. You feel more love compared to when you're doing something they disapprove of. Then you suddenly feel a withdrawal of their love. Now, that is a conditional love. It's conditioned on circumstances, on events. It's conditional on behavior. And that isn't really the love that makes us feel centered or integrated. It's a very needy love, and from a personal point of view, we berate ourselves when we mess up, and in that moment of berating ourselves, of criticizing ourselves, of judging ourselves, we're participating in that non-integrated perception, that conditional consciousness. We don't love ourselves when we mess up, do we? We really are probably our own worst critics. I often say that if we had to speak to our best friend the way we speak to ourselves, we probably wouldn't have a best friend, because we really are a very harsh judge of ourselves. Now, that is a conditional state. So what is this integrative state? Well, first of all, is to recognize that on the horizontal plane, everything is in duality. Everything is duality. So, you have, for example, a left and a right. You have a left side of the brain and a right side of the brain. The left side of the brain is said to be more linear, logical, time-based. The right side of the brain is supposed to be more to do with colors and shapes and feelings, possibly. And so we also have up and down. We have above us and below us. And we have people in situations above us in life, and we have people below us in situations around us. So we have that judgment, when you get to speak to someone, you want to know, are they above you in the social hierarchy or are they below you? That's a judgment again. And then we have the classic one, which is inside and outside. And we are so convinced that you can have an inside without an outside, or an outside without an inside, and it's impossible. You can't. For every up, there's a down. For every mountain peak, there's a valley. And so everything in this world of the horizontal plane has these polarized perception. And we also have, for example, we have mind and body, and they also are polarized between the negative and the positive. We talk about mind, body, and we talk about soul. And they're all polarized. They're all on the horizontal plane. They're all reliant upon time. If you think of your body obeys the laws of time. And time and gravity go together. So the more locked in time you are, the heavier you are, the more grave you are, the more down you are, if you want to put it that way. The other element that is integrated compared to the heaviness of gravity is something called light. Light is integrated. Well, in its purest form, it's integrated. And it's light, and it's whole, and it's beautiful, and it's radiant, as against the gravity, the heaviness, the heavy emotions that we have in ourselves. Just talking about the conditional state, and we have things, for example, we have emotions and feelings like fear. Do you think fear is an integrative state or a non-integrative state? Well, fear is very much about separation, isn't it? It's about division. It's about separation. The primal fear is we're separated from the divine. We're separated from life. When we are fearful, we feel separate from those around us. We feel separate from life and the support that life is giving us. The other side of that is love. Love is a feeling of integration. Love is a feeling of oneness. So what the mind does, it makes fear the opposite of love and love the opposite of fear. And that, from our perspective, might appear to be true. But in fact, what is real, says the Course in Miracles, has no opposite. So while fear is the predominant energy that controls and actually makes possible the horizontal plane, and fear is an acronym for false evidence appearing real, it's an illusion, we know that. Albert Einstein said it's an illusion, albeit a very persistent illusion. It is an illusion, and that is an illusion of separateness. So fear is about separateness. Love, on the other hand, is not the opposite of fear, because love is in the vertical plane, and the vertical plane has no opposites, because it's not dualistic in nature. Love is always here. Fear can come and go. Love can never go. The perception of love, that's the problem. The more we separate our awareness in the matrix, we separate it from reality, the more we separate ourselves from love. But love is always waiting here in the present moment for our homecoming. Always. And fear also puts things into little compartments. Now just think of your education. Was your education an integrative education, or was it about putting little compartments in your head? And that was one of the things that really confused me about education growing up, because you went to the history lesson, you went to geography, you went to mathematics, but I wanted to know, how do they all fit together? And that was why, I didn't do terribly well at school. Well, I didn't do badly, but I wanted to know, how do all these different parts that they're teaching us fit together? And when you go to university, they even do it worse there. They make you specialize in little areas, and they never show you how they all integrate into a wholeness. And there's a reason for that. There's a reason why our education is so separate, so put into these little compartments. And the reason is control. Because when you are separate, when your brain is put into separate parts, when your awareness is separate, you can be controlled. If you think of a corporation, for example, corporates can do some terrible things, and yet all the people within, they're good people and they're doing good things in their little compartment, but they don't look at how it all integrates and how it plays out in the bigger world and what the impact is on the whole world. And so I'm going to suggest that what we need now in our lives more than anything else, and what we need in society right now more than anything else, is integration. So just to recap, the world of the horizontal plane, the world of non-integration, is a world of fear, of separation, the perception of separation, the perception that I'm not the other, the perception that I'm vulnerable in time and space. That's separation. And that's about control. It's about a narrow focus on life. I just focus on this one little thing over here, and I don't see how that integrates into the thing next to it. And through that, you can get people to do pretty horrendous things. I mean, I know that after the Second World War, they, were talking to the security guards and saying, "But how could you do what you do?" They said, "No, I just guarded the gate. I just got people to walk down this path. I just opened the door and let the people into the gas. I didn't do anything wrong. I was just doing a little bit." And that's the problem of fear, because it gets us to focus on little compartments and we don't see the big picture. It's just an injection now, for example. We don't look at what is the big picture surrounding that so-called medication. And so I'm going to suggest that what we need now is to expand our awareness to encompass these disparate parts that we have into a new functioning whole. And that new functioning whole is called love. It's called integration. It's about inclusion, not exclusion. Now think about the media. Think about the media of the last couple of years. It's all been about separation. I mean, we had, particularly in the US, that whole Black Lives Matter, and it was all about, race, them versus us. And it was about separating people. And we've had, and I hope I'm not going to step on anyone's toes here, but we've had, for example, religion doing that for thousands of years now. Religion has been very much about, well, the word religion means to bind. I would hope it means to bind to God, but it's really to bind to a particular philosophy, thought, field, dogma. And the problem with that is that it always makes me better than you. It always makes mine better than yours. So, for example, in the Christian religion, we have ended up with about, I believe, I didn't count it, but I read this somewhere, that there are over 22,000 different Christian denominations. And there's nothing wrong with diversity. It's beautiful if we've got diversity. But the problem comes in is when we believe that ours is better than someone else's. When we believe that our way of seeing reality is better than someone else's way of seeing reality. When we believe that our beliefs are better than the other. And sometimes it's happened, believe it or not, that people have actually killed other people in the belief that it's a righteous war that we're in. And I believe it was something in the last century about over 200 million, 250 million people were killed. And a lot of them had to do with religion, happened to do with me being more right than you. My rights are more important than your rights. And so that's been the fear-based reality, and now we're coming back to love. So now, if we enter our diverse religions with this feeling of oneness, with this feeling of love, we can still have our diversity, we can still have our individual beliefs, but we no longer feel a sense of separation. We no longer feel a sense of divide. I am my brother. Whether my brother is the same skin color as me, whether my brother is the same gender as me, whether my brother is the same religion as me, I am it. That Ubuntu, that Desmond Tutu, I am because you are. That sense of oneness. And where do we directly experience that sense of inclusion? Well, in this wonderful, beautiful meat suit that we carry around with us every day. So this meat suit is made up of, I counted them on a rainy day, I was bored, about 30 trillion cells I worked it out to be. No, I didn't count it, but that's what the science says. About 30 trillion cells. Now each cell is an individual unit. Each cell has a process of acquiring nutrition, it has a process of processing that nutrition, it has a process of repairing itself, and it has a process of excretion, and it has a process of reproduction. Every cell in the body does that. But every cell knows that it is an integrative part of a bigger collective, except when you have cancer cells. Cancer cells are cells that have forgotten that they are an integrative part of a bigger whole. And they start taking more nutriments than are needed. They start taking more nutriments to the detriment of the cells around them. They start growing to the detriment of the cells around them because they have forgotten that they're an integrative whole. and they're now operating from a frequency, a vibration of fear, believe it or not. And those cells, if they're not sorted out by the body's immune system or maybe medical intervention, will ultimately kill the collective. Now, haven't we done that, and aren't we doing that in our greater society at the moment, where bigger is best, bigger is more powerful? You know, if you look at the companies that are growing on the earth at this stage, the companies that have done phenomenally well in the last 2 years, you know, we can name a few of them, but we know who they are. They have grown to the detriment of small business. Small businesses were shut down, and the biggest businesses grow. If you look at religion, it's quite often it's about power. It's about gaining more power. You know, the Roman Catholic Church was set up originally by Constantine, and the word Catholic means world. In other words, we need a world dominance here. We need a world of control to bring back the Roman Empire into an integrative unity, he thought. And so he did it through religion, but it was all about power. It wasn't the power of love. It was the power of force, unfortunately. Now, we've gone through that cycle. We've gone through the cycle of separation, of fear and control. And now the good news is that the whole of humanity is standing on the threshold of a new integrative awareness, where we start to look beyond the walls of our own castles, where we start to see the greater vista around us, and we start to understand that what we think and what we feel and what we do has an impact on the greater whole. And so we start to shift our education, we start to shift our view of and how we act within our religious confines. We start to look at politics differently. We start to see maybe different ways of managing society. The old way was all about separation, divide and rule, and power at the top filtering down to the bottom. The new way, I'm going to suggest, a new workable way, is an integrative model. It's a model where there is no hierarchy as such, where it's a flat model, where everyone is equal. It doesn't matter that you make the tea. It doesn't matter that you sweep the floors of the office. You are as equal to any member of the exco, any member within the company. It doesn't matter that you are a 3-year-old child. You're as equal to the parents in that household. Yes, the parents have a certain role, and yes, they do tend to set the rules, and that's fine, that's normal. But we don't look down on the child as inferior anymore, the way the older generations used to. We treat the sacredness of each and every individual that we meet on our day-to-day path. That's more integrated. We've been being more integrative in our awareness. And then from a thinking point of view, every thought we think generally is a value judgment. It's a perception of good, bad, up, down, left, right, I want, I don't want. And so every thought we think is a conditional state. If we do want to experience more love, more peace, more joy, more fulfillment in our lives, then we have to start valuing the integrative aspect of our awareness rather than that which is conditioned. And that we give a name to, and we call it presence. There are many names we can give it to, but presence is the name that I like to work with. Presence is an integrative awareness. In pure awareness, there is no thought, there's no judgment. You're just aware of the isness of this moment. And for quite a few years I've been toying, because I believe there is a lot of money in religion. I've been thinking of starting my own religion, and I'm going to start the Church of Isness. That's a good name, the Church of Isness. No, it won't be about making money. And no, I'm not thinking of doing that. But it would be a good idea, the Church of Isness, because I think isness, the awareness of isness, is possibly the most sacred awareness we can have of reality. When you meet someone, you just meet them as an isness. Not as a male or female, young or old, good person, bad person, I like you, I don't like you, just as an isness. There's an isness in front of you in this moment. Can you honor it with your attention, with your full, unbiased attention in that moment? That's an integrative awareness. Then you're coming back to wholeness. You're seeing now with real eyes. You're realizing the love that's contained within this unique moment that you're experiencing here and now. Is a new functioning whole. So our body is a reflection of the world outside of us, and because the world outside of us is very much about, well, the philosophy of greed is good, we end up now with cancer affecting 1 in 2 people. Where maybe 100 years ago you had a 1 in 8,000 chance of getting cancer, now it's 1 in 2. Because there's this grabbing of resources within the body and within the collective outside of us. But as we change our awareness, as we start to spend more time, I don't like to use that word, but more of our awareness in presence, so we open up the channel for chi to flow through us, unimpeded by these old restrictive judgmental thoughts, and the balance comes back into the body. The integrative flow of energy is restored in the body. The word health comes to mind here. What does the word healing mean? But to come back to wholeness. That's what it means, to come back to wholeness. So suddenly, instead of being afflicted by all these viruses and cancers and things, we start to live more holistic lives. We start to lead healthier lives because we changed our consciousness. Our body is a reflection of our consciousness. Yes, it's affected by toxins in the environment. Yes, it's affected by EMFs. Yes, it's affected by emotions. But ultimately, we are responsible for the internal environment in our body. The more awake we become, the more conscious of our thoughts and our feelings, the more we start to master the mind. So we start to allow the body, and the word is allow, not fixing the body, but we are allowing the body to come back to its natural, integrative state. And that integrative state, another word we can use for it, is the word balance. We start to bring balance back into the body. As we bring balance back into our process of attention and awareness and thinking and emotions, we bring balance back into the body. As we bring balance back into the body and the mind, so we bring balance back into our relationships. So we bring balance back into our working environment. And so we start to change the greater society from the inside out. Now in the past we've tried to create, by using force, change on the outside so that we can feel better. But the truth of this transformation is that this is an inside-out job. That as we change the inside, so the outside automatically will change through what's called the field of non-locality to actually become a reflection of this new integrative being inside us, this new integrative awareness that we have within us. We come to a more functioning whole. And we start to recognize that there is no other. The integrative awareness is the recognition of oneness within your awareness. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, that is the definition of love. Love is the recognition of oneness within our own awareness. And as we open to love, love flows through us into the world of form, into the world of relationships, into the world of careers, into the world of food production, into the world of manufacturing. Instead of it being about fear, separation, getting my individual needs met, we start to live our lives in an integrative way. We start to live in communities that are integrated. We start to support the communities. And I absolutely guarantee you that as we do that, things like poverty and dis-ease and psychological disorders will disappear, because an integrative society is a healthy society. And there is so much abundance on this planet. We live in a phenomenally abundant planet. There's no need for poverty at all once we start to see the other as ourselves. Once we start to honor the divine in all that we meet, the world changes. And the world is changing. It is our destiny to be this change. It is our destiny. And we have to co-create with the flow of life, with the intention of the cosmos, which is birthing this process with us. But we, because this is the planet of free will, we get to participate in this transformation of human consciousness. It's a wonderful time to be here. We all signed up for it. We came here voluntarily. I know a lot of people are going through a lot of difficulties at the moment. However, it's to know that all the difficulties which we face with at the moment are not there to punish us. They're there to bring us back to wholeness. Every challenge we have in life, the mind sees it as wrong. I want to get rid of it. But in fact, the heart says, thank you. Thank you for this gift of learning. Thank you for this cleansing process that I'm going through right now. Thank you for leading me back and giving me another opportunity to love even more, to love even deeper. That's the gift of all the challenges that we ever have in life. Know that the universe, the cosmos, God, whatever you want to call it, life, is actually giving you another opportunity through this challenge to love more, to love deeper, to love more integratively in your life. The word integration in its bigger sense means to take all the disparate parts of our thinking mind and bring it together into a new functioning whole, and that is called awareness. The more awareness we have in life, the more awareness we have in our day-to-day living, as we're washing the dishes, as we're putting our clothes on, as we're cleaning our teeth, instead of thinking in a separative way, in other words, we've gone into time, past and future, good and bad, we come back to wholeness in our thinking. As we do that, we within ourselves generate an energy of integration which will filter out into our day, influencing the circumstances we meet in the day and influencing the greater field that we find ourselves in, the greater field of energy. Awareness is the only completely integrative state of consciousness that we can connect to as human beings. It's consciousness untainted by thought. Now people go, well, goodness me, I can't be without thought. You absolutely can, because it's who you are. You are consciousness without thought. Thought is an add-on. You are the awareness, the unconditioned integrative awareness beneath the thinking mind. And the problem is that we have forgotten that. We have got so caught up in our creation that we have forgotten God's creation. God's creation is being, is presence, is life, is love, is peace, is ease and abundance. That's the vertical plane. The horizontal plane is our creation. Past, future, regret, anxiety, fear. That's all the horizontal plane. And as we start to honor with the attention of our focus in the integrative state of awareness, which is always love and always presence, so we start to shift the world. We start to shift the field of consciousness which every single human being finds himself in. And as we start to make what is more important and more real to us than what isn't, so we start to experience in our lives ease, peace, abundance, joy, love, and inner fulfillment, and a connectiveness to the sacredness of each and every moment. And the old patterns of thinking, the old unconscious patterns that maybe come from our education, maybe come from our childhood, they drop away naturally, in the same way that a flower blooms and the petals have to drop off, and they do drop off automatically for the fruit to emerge. Think of that analogy. So all these, as we feed the fruit, and the fruit of our awareness is love, as we feed love, so all the patterns that no longer serve us dissipate naturally. We don't have to go for talk therapy for 10 years anymore. We can do it by the power of presence. We know that just a few minutes in this pure state of awareness is enough to dissolve those neurological nets that have been running our life for so long, those repeating patterns that come from our childhood, that possibly come from past lives, who knows where. They dissipate naturally, just as those petals naturally fall off as the fruit forms. And so as we start to value what is being spoken about, this integrative, instead of judgmental, up, down, good, bad, as we start to see the isness of this moment, and we start to honor, this is what is in this moment, as we start to honor that with our attention and our focus, so those old patterns that have been creating dysfunctional, not only in our thinking, but also in our body and in our communities, they naturally drop away. And the beauty of your divine being starts to radiate through your body, through your eyes, through your speech, through your doing into the world around you. And everything improves when you're in love. You know that. When you feel in love, you become healthy, you become more intelligent, you become kinder, more compassionate, more empathetic. living our lives in love is an integrative awareness, an integrative way of being in the world, living our lives in love. So that's probably about all we have time for tonight. What I would like to do is just let us enter into an integrative awareness, an integrative state within us now from a practical point of view. So a lot of us have been on a sort of spiritual journey most of our lives, and we've acquired maybe a lot of information in our head. We've done a lot of workshops, we've been to various courses and things like that, we've read a lot of books. But this time that we're going through now is a time of integrating all that information into us in a practical way. So instead of knowing it intellectually, we start to be it in our lives. It's only through the act of being that we can truly make permanent change in our lives. It's no good the understanding. You can have a triple PhD and still be as messed up as ever. That's the absolute truth. Only by integrating these learnings and these experiences into the vertical plane can we truly transform ourselves and transform the world around us. No more understanding needed. No more information needed. Just a releasing and a surrendering to the isness of life in this moment. Because from that state of surrenderedness, from that state of isness, our action, the actual doingness in our lives comes from a much higher place. And we will find our doingness is far more beneficial to ourselves and to the world around us, because it's not coming from fear, it's not coming from separation anymore. It's now coming from a sense of divine connection with life, and it's coming from a sense of integrativeness in the community. And we will see magic happen in this world in the next couple of years as we become the change we need to see in the world, that we want to see in the world. So let's just do a practical exercise now to integrate some of what's been spoken about tonight so that we can start to live more integrative lives moment to moment to moment. Because as we do, others around us will see that shift in us. They will see the light in our lives. They will see our hearts being opened, and that seeing in them will initiate a process of transformation within them if they are ready for that transformation. We don't have to change anyone. Not our job to change anyone. The only one that we have to change is ourselves, and not even changing ourselves, just bringing our awareness back. Bring our awareness back to love. That's all it ever is. And love is a state of acceptance. Love is a state of allowing. And love is a state of appreciation. And when we start to work with that state, we start to work with joy. We start to work with enthusiasm instead of resentment. We start to work in a far more meaningful way, in a far more constructive way. So, hopefully you've enjoyed what I've shared with you tonight. Please give us some comments and some feedback. We love getting that, and we love getting the hearts. So let's just sit back in our chair now and just apply what we have discovered this evening. And take a very deep breath in. And as you breathe in now, you draw the air right the way down to your toes. So you're really visualizing this air going through your body all the way down, pulling your tummy out, the diaphragm down as you bring the air in. And when you breathe out now, just sigh everything out. All the old world of non-integrative emotions and thoughts, we're releasing all of that in this moment, and we're just coming back to the center point. And if you think about the breath, the center point is stillness. It's that place between the in-breath and the out-breath. It's that point between the out-breath and the in-breath. There's a stillness there. That stillness is when you connect with the divine in your awareness. The no-breath, the no-doing, that stillness. That is a place of balance in that place. Now, whatever we put our attention on expands. Most of us put our total attention on the in-breath and the out-breath, and that's good. Nothing wrong with that. It's a powerful tool to get us out of our stories and our heads. But as we start to pay attention to that stillness between the breath, that grows in our awareness, and that opens us up to the flow of life. So take another very deep breath in, blowing your tummy up like a big ball, And as you breathe out, just release everything that no longer serves you in this moment and just become aware for a brief moment of that pause before the in-breath is given to you. It's beautiful, the in-breath. Nothing wrong with doing, as long as we bring a state of sacred awareness to the breath. It's beautiful, beautiful. Let's bring our awareness now to the center of our physical body, which is the heart and the solar plexus. They both sit near the center of our body. And let's connect the solar plexus, which is the point of power, with our heart, which is the seat of love. And we connect our power with love. And we become integrated in the power of love. And we allow this power of love, which comes through the portal of stillness, to guide us, to lead us, and to protect us. We allow this beautiful, powerful stillness within us to become our constant companion, instead of paying it brief visits on odd occasions. We take hand with this stillness within us, and we let it guide us each and every step that we take along this human journey. We honor the sacredness of presence and of stillness and of quietness within our own being. And as we start to do this, this expands within us. So we can be in a crowded marketplace, we can be in a traffic jam, we can even be within an argument, and we step back into this place, this sacred place of stillness, where our heart connects with our solar plexus, where we become empowered with love. This is integration. This is the power of integration. And as we find that in a crowded place or a busy shopping mall, and we step back into the stillness, we will see around us a different world. And as we start to see a different world around us, the world becomes different. It becomes more loving and more caring and more compassionate, more empathetic. As we become this change, the world, which is a mirror, will change in accordance with that inner feeling, with that inner vibration. As we start to honor the peace within us, that peace will be reflected in our relationships, in our careers, and in our physical body from a health point of view. There's nothing more sacred than the present moment. Why search for it in time when it's here, within you, right now, closer than your breath? And it's beautiful, truly, truly beautiful. And in this moment of quietness, we make a sacred vow to honor the still, sacred temple within us, to feed it with our awareness, and to place it the highest on our list of values. We pay it attention, particularly before we go to sleep at night. And we pay it particular attention when we wake up in the morning. And we watch as our lives are transformed in miraculous ways to become vessels of peace, conduits of love in the world that we live in. This is our sacred mission. This is the reason we come to earth. We come to earth, our primary purpose is not to be a mother or father or a butcher or a baker, but to be healed, to be whole, to come back to being, to come back to our integrative real self, which is love. That is our journey, and it is a sacred one. Now take a very deep breath in, drawing this beautiful air right the way down the body and up to the top of the lungs as well, so you're blowing yourself up like a big ball. And then a lovely long sigh out. And gently, when you're ready, you may open your eyes. And just see how you feel in this moment. How do you feel? How do you feel right now? It's all about feeling. The secret of life is not too much in doing, but more in feeling. How do you feel? And learning to live an integrative life is learning to feel the feelings you want to feel, rather than the external world of fear manipulating you to feel what it wants you to feel. Love is the answer. Whatever the question, love is the answer. Whatever the situation is bringing to you, love is the answer. Right, let's just draw an affirmation card. We've got a whole big pack here, and Michelle's not here to draw tonight, so let me just go through and draw a card. I'll draw a purple one. Yeah, this is beautiful. Right, it says, I need nothing more to make me whole and complete. Therefore, I am at peace. How appropriate is that for tonight? There's a lot of cards here, and I just randomly pulled that out of the pack. I need nothing more to make me whole and complete. Therefore, I am at peace. And I didn't select that beforehand. It came out of the pack now. How beautiful. I'll photograph it. I'll put it up on the Facebook page below this session tonight. You might like to print it out and stick it on your bathroom mirror and your dashboard of your car, because that is a powerful affirmation. It's one that will definitely lead us home. Thank you for being with us tonight, and thank you for your messages for Michelle. She'll definitely be back with us for the next satsang next Sunday. So lots of love to you. Have a centered, integrative week. Make the present moment more important to you than those thoughts in your head. Thank you. Love you all. Thank you for your support. Nighty night. Bless you all.